First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakak. I would also like to give a double honors unto my apostles and elders of Great Millstone that do rule well, that have taught me this truth. And I would also like to say a sincere shalom unto the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the four winds of the earth, unto the servants, the prophets, the true and sincere men that are prophesying and laboring in this truth, in this doctrine. Unto you I say shalom. It's going to be more hardships and more struggles that's coming to Babylon, coming, to America and all over the world. All right. And things may seem like they're moving slow, but shit is actually moving fast. All right. And, you got to really, understand and you can kind of read between the lines through the spirit and see what's going on in this world, to see that, Esau's, the scripture says they're going to come down with, they know they have but a short time. So they're going to come down with great wrath. Esau's in the background making shit happen. All right, while everyone's caught up in the folly of this world, sports, entertainment, celebrity gossip, all this bullshit, rap beef. All right, but at the end of the day, people that's out there working, okay, that's are catching hell. All right, people can't pay their rent. All right. I got an article right here where this lady in Canada, even though it's in Canada, it's going to have that same effect here in America, but even worse, where she says all her money goes to rent. All right. So she don't say I'm gonna read the article. She doesn't say she has money for basic necessities like food and clothes. She can't even pay for that. All right. It says in this article right here, it says Americans' pandemic savings are gone. The economy is bracing for impact. All right, the savings that people got through PPP loans or their 401ks, or they went took money out their retirement, that shit is gone. All right, a lot of stores, a lot of businesses may begin to go out of business, which also is the loss of jobs. All right, in this article right here, it talks about the living situations where that American dream of buying a home is you got to make at least $100,000 for a typical home, and that's probably in a shitty neighborhood where you got to worry about niggas breaking in your house while you're gone. All right, so things in America, Babylon, are getting worse and worse and worse. Or unless you have that put on that whole armor of Yahawashi, all right, that to guide you through these tough times, because hey, men in the truth, the hopeful elect, we got to go through it too. We got to deal with these hardships and struggles. All right, we not exempt, but we do have something to guide us through. We have the Holy Spirit. We have these scriptures. We have this knowledge. We have this wisdom. We have faith. All right, that we lean and depend on the Lord, but the world don't got that. All right, this lady right here that's catching hell in Canada, she don't got that. All right, she's thinking about how she said she can't even sleep. She loses sleep because she don't know how she gonna make it. All right, so I don't know which art. I'll start with this one since I'm here. It says living with parents, living with your ex, giving up basic needs like food and clothing. These are just some of the sacrifices Canadians say they've been making to pay rent amid the surging prices and decreased availability marking Canada's rental housing crisis. In this article, they talk about how people can't buy homes. They struggling with rent. All right, demands for rental is outpacing supply across the country. In a recent CBC News analysis of more than 1,000 neighborhoods across Canada's largest cities found that found that less than 1% of the rentals are both vacant and affordable for the majority of the Canadian renters. So this is just Canada, all right. But I bet they ain't gonna move to America because they know it's worse here, and then it's going to be worse. All right. So it says let me see. I'll read a little bit more. It says I think it's sickening. Karen Charnbury, as a single mom living in Kingston, Ontario, told CBC News. Chambury, 47, has to make sacrifices because 100% of her income goes to the rent. So say she gets $3,000 a month, that's all going to her rent. She had to sell her house after her divorce and now pays $2,679 per month for a 3-bedroom townhouse in the same neighborhood. She didn't want her children, a teen boy and girl, to have to switch schools and share a bedroom. Hey, eventually that's what people gonna have to do. You're gonna see a lot of people here in the States, in America, begin to move in with family. All right, you was living in a house, now you renting a 3 bedroom. You're gonna downsize to a 2 bedroom, eventually a 1 bedroom, where you got beds in the living room. All right, in the living space. All right, that's the reality of America. That's Babylon. All right, that's where shit is headed. All right, so she just had a divorce. So she downgraded to a townhouse. That townhouse is going to be eventually downgraded to an apartment. All right, and then probably a studio. All right, she probably waiting for her kids to get grown and get out and do their thing. But things are get worse and worse and worse. There's going to be hardships. There's going to be struggles, and unless you got the Lord to lean and depend on, all right, you're going to be fucked up. Excuse my language. Let me see. She says she's been cashing in her investments. Child support helps with the bills. Her mother helps her with groceries, and friends give their old clothes. She says she barely sleeps from the stress. All right, so she can't even get to sleep. She catching hell. All right, so how much more the the Israelite woman here in America? All right, she could only do so much, and because she, the more likely her children's father, she kicked him out. I'm talking about the Israelite women here in America. All right, she got she ain't got no way to pay for child care. All right, it's gonna be fucked up out here for Jake and those that say, oh well, she can get on Section 8. When you depend on this system, when you depend on this devil, all right, it comes with its strings attached, and eventually to keep those benefits, you're gonna have to get that MOTB, that chip. All right, because as the economy goes, everything is going digital. All right, and then we've been saying this. The apostles have been preaching. Everything is going to this digital system. All right, the CBDC, the central CBD, central bank digital currency. That's where everything is going. All right, that's when this crash happens. Whether it comes in the form of the dollar crash and the EMP, that's going to be the big reset everyone's waiting on. All right, let me grab this. It says. Just speaking on the housing situation, that American dream, I can own a house. Man, it's harder to own a house because your your mortgage is going to be basically the same as what your rent is. All right, and most people don't got 20% to put down. All right, so they're going to be on some type of FHA loan, some type of assistance where you have to pay that PMI, private mortgage insurance, which ups your mortgage. So you thinking I'm a homeowner now, but no, you didn't put yourself in a bigger hole. All right, because once you get behind on that mortgage, it's hard to get out, pull yourself out of that hole. All right, it says, let me see. A pair of recent studies predict that you'll need to earn more than $100,000 per year to comfortably afford a typical home in much of the U.S. right now. That's a major jump from 4 years ago, and it comes at a time when fewer homes are on the market and mortgage rates and housing prices have been high. House hunters, meanwhile, haven't seen their wages increase at the same pace, of course, because you got inflation, you have all these other things that are increasing, but your wages aren't increasing with the rate of inflation. Housing costs have soared up over the past 4 years as district hikes in home prices, mortgage rates, and rent growth far outpace wage gains. Zillow senior economist Orphe Dvorgai said in a statement. Let me see, it ain't too much. He said, but you got to make 6 figures. But before, you only had to make 59,000 a year to afford a typical home. All right, that's up. It says that's an 80% increase from the 59,000 yearly income that website predicted a household would need to comfortably afford a home in 2020. That's just 4 years. All right, that has went up. So, all right, so how much more the rate of inflation, the cost of food and gas and the basic necessities you need? All right, Esau is making eventually going to make you a slave in this kingdom. We're already slaves. Going to make you a bigger slave. All right, where you're going to need something like the UBI, Universal Basic Income, to survive. All right, but that comes with strings also. There's always strings attached with Esau. Okay, he gives you that because he know people are struggling. People can't pay their rent. People going to have food, clothes. All right, so he'll give you a monthly stipend of, say, $1,000. All right, to start off with. And it could increase. depending on your needs or how many kids you got. And people will willfully take that money, all right, to help you pay your mortgage or whatever it may be. But it comes with certain stipulations, and eventually it's going to be that MOTB, all right. And these pilot programs with the UBI have already started, all right. They're already out there, all right. You got even probably some counties and some cities in America where they're already giving them to them, all right. Just kind of on a hush hush right now, but eventually it's going to be made global. It's not eventually global, but it's going to be made on a national scale. All right. The last article I want to grab is America's pandemic savings are gone, but the economy is bracing for impact. And that impact eventually is going to be that reset. It says the pandemic saving cushions have helped Americans weather high prices in recent years, have worn through, contributing to a loss of consumer firepower that's rippling through the economy. Delinquencies are rising. Executives are flagging caution among shoppers in recent earning calls. The retail sales barely increased in May after falling the month prior. Economists forecast solid inflation-adjusted consumer spending in data. People not buying shit no more, and if they are, they're buying it with credit cards, which puts themselves in bigger debt. Data on Friday helped by lower gas prices, but that would follow an outright decline in April. All right, so you see the consumer spending is declining, which money is not putting excuse me, money's not being circulated through the system. The Americans' reliance on consumer and their willingness to spend despite rising prices and higher borrowing costs, that's interest rates, has been a pillar in the unwavering strength of U.S. economy in recent years. A health labor market has played a key role, but so has the roughly $2 trillion in excess savings Americans accumulated during the COVID-19 pandemic. All right, so that's the money they accumulated, but all that's about to be gone. All right, the job rate that in the economy or they'll the media will say act like they're adding jobs, but they're really not. All right, that they're jobs that they're adding, but they're not contributing. They're not mentioning the jobs that were lost. Also, the jobs that where people or companies are downsizing because of in certain states like California, example, minimum wage may be $20. Therefore, a lot of these companies, these small businesses, have to cut employees because they can't afford to pay 20 employees a minimum wage of $20 or more. So they have to cut their employees, which is a loss of jobs. All right. But hey, things in this economy, things in Babylon, America are going to get worse and worse and worse. It's at a continuing declining rate, and you may get all these numbers of, because it's an election year and they want to, make it seem like Biden's doing a good job, but that's all bullshit. It says missing payments, share balance that are 90+ day delinquent. So as people spend, let me see. So the missing payments has gone up, and this was around the recession where people was missing on credit cards, auto loans. So it's kind of the same thing. Credit card payment, missing credit card payments is going up, along with the auto loans. All right, that was just the first quarter. So how much more we're in the third quarter now. So it more than likely went up. So it said brace for impact. So let me see. I'm not going to read all of this. It's a pretty long article. I read a little bit of it. But this just gives you a glimpse of where America's headed. All right. America is not going to return. America is not going to return to their glory days or their the days where it was the American dream was alive and all that bullshit. All right, that shit is dead. All right, ain't nobody coming to America. All these nations, that are here, these different countries, a lot of them are packing up shop and going back to their country. All right, they said they rode this American wave with this money as long as they could ride it, and now that's it. This is Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day where the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. This is the grinders represent the workers. All right, it says the grinders cease because they are few. There's no grinding in the city because there are not a lot of workers. And it says, and those that look out of windows, look out of the windows be darkened because there's no future. There's no future here in America. Okay, the future looks grim. All right, the doors of the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. I just mentioned that grinding represents work. All right, and the doors represent these different businesses. Okay, storehouses. When the grinding is low, and he shall rise up in the voice, of the birds, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right, and during all these things that's going to take place, you're going to have famine. All right, you're going to have a shortage of food. All right, shortage of all kind of resources, not just food. All right, let me see where I want to go with this. Let me get Second Ezra. Second Ezra 6. Excuse me. Second Ezra 6, and I'm going to start at verse 22. Excuse me, I'm dealing with these allergies right now. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth it, they shall suddenly be afraid. But going back to verse 22, the storehouses shall be closed. All right, so that means, convenience stores, grocery stores. You may have one grocery store open in your area that everyone has to go to. All right, so therefore you're going to have a lack of food, lack of resources. All right, they say the sown places shall appear unsown, the full storehouses shall be suddenly found empty. A lot of small businesses are going to catch that wrath of what did it say? Pandemic savings gone. They're going to catch that. A lot, they're not going to be able to survive. They're barely surviving now. All right, and then a lot of them, some of them got their PPP loans forgiven, but some of them didn't. All right, and there's certain things that they have to do to receive. I saw a video where they were explaining how businesses receive loan forgiveness for PPP loans, where they have to submit or not necessarily hire, but interview or put out a certain job openings, for people to apply to. I don't know, it's some type of loophole businesses are using to get their loans forgiven. All right, but it actually it hurts the people because people are out there looking for jobs and thinking that these jobs are open when these jobs are the employers are only trying to manipulate the numbers just to keep their loan forgiveness. Esau got all kind of loopholes for certain business owners, but at the end of the day, it's still no jobs. All right. Let me keep reading. 24. And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, and the springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So friends are going to fight like one against another because what? The lack of bread. It says that, I'm going to grab that in 2 Ezra 15. Because of lack of resources. All right? Because their living situation is jacked up. All right? Imagine 4 people living in a studio apartment. All right? You got to be, imagine, a whole family living in a 1-bedroom apartment. That's going to take place. And you don't think there's going to be a fighting amongst them? All right? Because people just, is, they're frustrated. They're depressed with, society and how their life is going. All right? A bad time is coming, man. And not just physical hardships, but and financial hardships, but mental hardships. All right, that people aren't ready to deal with. There's going to be a lot more people that's going to commit suicide. All right, the suicide rates are going to rise in these last days. All right. Let me see. Let me grab this. Revelation 6. Revelation 6, speaking on the famine. All right, because that's something that's not spoken of enough. All right, that's something that's not going to be broadcasting your mainstream media about the lack of food, about a lot of these Food processing plants have been shut down, burned down by, well, they act like, it's a mystery of how these food processing plants got burned down or caught fire. All right, you got a lot of livestock being euthanized through bird flu or whatever. All right, you got a lot of floods took out a lot of crops a few years ago. All right, you got Esau paying farmers not to not to do their job, not to farm. All right, you got Bill Gates that bought damn near a third of all the farmland in America. All right, so he could produce his lab grown meat and lab grown food. All right, so all these things are going on. All right, but behind the scenes. All right, why you think this shit is? Didn't mean not this shit, but this things are moving slow. Things are moving fast. All right, things are moving at actually a pretty rapid pace. All right, with this economy, with the downfall of this economy, and Esau trying to establish a new world order. All right, this is Revelation 6 and verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat, on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, "Measure a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and thou shalt not hurt, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." All right, so a day's work for a penny. All right, a day's work for a measure of wheat. 3 measures of barley for a penny, and a penny represents a day's work. I'm gonna get this in the GNT and see what it says. Revelation 6 and 7. But that's the reality. All right, this lady, this lady right here, all her check is going to rent. All right, so this is coming true. So all your money may go to feeding yourself. All your money may go to your rent. All your money may go to certain bills where you have to sacrifice one thing for the other. You have to sacrifice eating for or your kids eating for you not eating. All right, Revelation 6. 7. Is it 6? Let me see. Let me go to 4 chapter. And I'll read it. And I heard what sounded like a voice coming from among the 4 living creatures, which said, "A quart of wheat for a day's wage, and 3 quarts of barley for a day's wage. But do not damage the olive trees and the vineyards." It was just plain and simple. He already explained it even simpler. A day's wage. So say you make $20 an hour at your job. All right, 8 hours, $200. All right, after taxes, 180. All right, 175 a day. Right. You use all that money you just worked that 8 hours, and you go buy a meal from, I don't know, Chick-fil-A or something. That's it. That's all you get. All right, you go buy 1 bag of groceries. All right, for your family. That's it. That's all you getting. A day's work. A day's work, and all you getting is a meal, if that. All right. So that's what's prophesied, and that's where things is going. All right, things are going to get even probably worse than that. All right, because you ain't gonna be no Chick-fil-A, none of that stuff. All right, it ain't gonna be no fast food in Jacob's trouble. All right, when it's famine, ain't gonna be none of that shit. All right, you're gonna be having to fight for your food. This is Ezekiel 4. Let's see, is this it? In 16, moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight, and will care, and they shall drink water by measure, and with astonishment. And they may want bread and water, and be astoned with one another, and consume away for their iniquity. And this is Yahawashi, the Most High put in hell on Jake. Says he's going to break the staff of their bread in Jerusalem. And that's talking about Jake. All right, eat bread by weight. This is talking about a famine. All right, mass famine is going to come back, and it's going to be greater than it ever was in the ancient world at any other time. All right, and our people have to be ready for that. And the only ones that's going to be ready is the hopeful elect. All right, those that have this knowledge, have this wisdom, have faith, have the names. The names are important. Hey, you think someone calling on Jesus Christ or Christ Most High and Christ blessed in the time of great famine, the time of great pestilence, is going to be saved? All right, hell no, the Lord ain't dealing with them. The Lord's going to say, I never knew you. Depart from me, you that work iniquity. All right, and they're going to say, oh Lord, haven't I, taught the law, and haven't I did this? And no, the Lord's going to say, I never knew you. All right. I spoke on 2nd Ezra 15. And all these things, the economy is going to lead to these 2nd Ezra 15 and 16 times. All right. These are just, this is just the beginning. All right. Esau, and you got to understand, Esau wants this to happen. So you can lean and depend on him. All right. Well, people are catching hell out there. They ain't going to say that, but people are enduring tough times. All right. We need to put together a system to help them, to aid them. All right. And upon putting together that system, the end game of that system is that MOTB. All right, is that that micro C here. All right, this Isaiah 30:1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. That's what Jacob's eventually going to do. 2/3 of our people, they're going to trust in that shadow of Egypt. They're going to trust in the strength of Pharaoh. Okay, they're not going to trust in Yahawashi Yahawashi. All right, they're going to follow their own heart. All right, they're going to try to fill their own belly. All right, they're going to they ain't worried about serving the Lord. They're worried about saving their life in this world. Closing. Let me see. Let me go over a chapter, because this kind of says something. Help not in Egypt, but in the Most High. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. That's hard-headed, wicked-ass Jake. All right, that's going to our people are going to catch the worst during these times too. All right, but they're not going to lean on the Holy One of Israel. They ain't going to lean on Yahawashi Yahawashi. They're not going to seek the Lord. They're going to seek to save themselves. They're going to seek, pretty much they're going to seek to fulfill Esau's New World Order, and they don't even know it. All right, Esau is setting you jakes up right now. All you jakes with the EBT, all you jakes with the Section 8. All right, that's nothing but a snare. All right, and if you do have some knowledge, you can use those things to your advantage. But eventually, you're gonna have to draw the line. And our people are got their heads so far up Esau's ass, they don't even know where to draw the line. All right, especially when Esau start giving out these monthly allowance in the form of their UBI. So let me go to 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Because Esau understands you need money. You need some type of, to function in life. All right, to pay your rent, to pay for food, to pay for child care, pay for a certain thing. That's why they're going to tie everything to that MOTB, to this system. All right, they know that. That's why they're going to try to bind you to that. Okay, bind you to this system. All right, but those that aren't binded, those that resist, he's going to make them an enemy. All right, he's going to ban them from society, and that's okay. All right, because those that do resist that MOTB, those that go against this New World Order, they got faith. They have the spirit of Yahawashi Yahawashi amongst them. That's going to guide them. That's going to feed them. That's going to provide the things that they need. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. And there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings or prince, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right, this is a time where, the economy didn't crash. Esau, is coming down with great wrath. People are going to fight amongst each other. All right, they're not going to regard their government. They're going to regard their local laws. None of that shit. They ain't going to regard no curfews. It's going to be everyone for themselves. All right, it says in Matthew the 24th chapter, the love of many shall wax cold. Going back to 2 Ezra 6 and 22, where I read, friends shall fight against friends. Why? Because of these hard ass times. Okay, because the economy is crashing. Because they don't got food. They can't provide for their family. All right, they went from living like this lady said. Went from living in the house to a townhouse. Eventually, they're gonna probably downsize to a apartment. All right, how much more these people in America that think that's living abundantly? All right, yeah, they may not downsize, but hey, half their family, their whole family, all right, their mama's family, it's gonna be moving in with them. All right, they kids is gonna be moving back home. You got a lot of that now. Kids moving back home with their parents because they can't afford rent. All right, rent is too high. All right, like I said, rent and a mortgage is kind of like the same right now. All right, with people paying rent, they don't have to worry about certain things that someone has as a mortgage has to pay. A mortgage has to pay because some people that some of these apartment places, they pay for your water or sewer and all that stuff, certain utilities. But when you own a home, you gotta pay for it all. You may have an HOA, you may have to pay for sewer and all that shit. You gotta pay your property taxes. So it's a lot more, and Esau's making it harder and harder. All right, but that devil, was it Klaus Schwab or Noah Harari, one of these devils, said, "You will own nothing and love it," and that's where Esau is. That's where things are moving towards. All right, verse 17, and the man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able, for their pride, the city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. This is all a part of that great tribulation. The economy crashing, bracing for impact. This is a part of that great tribulation. All your money is going to your bills. She can't even sleep because of stress. This Edomite lady. I don't know if she's an Edomite or not. She could be a Jake. All right. You not being able to afford a home. Okay. But people, you have a husband and a wife. They work. They got pretty good jobs, and they barely making it. Okay. They make, you figure back in the day, you make over 100,000, you good. In San Francisco, if you make under 125,000, you're living in poverty. Okay, you a check away from missing a check away from being evicted, and that's reality. That's gonna be the reality amongst all Babylon, all America. All right. Let me see if I had anything else. That was pretty much it. I just want to bring out these few articles, and Jake need to take heed. Our people need to take heed into this word and understand the times that we're living in. All right, it's great tribulation is amongst us. All right, and it's going to hit hardest at our people. This is Daniel 12:1. And at that time, Michael shall stand up, the great prince was standing for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Or that time of trouble. Or the title right here says time of the end. We're at the end times where it's going to be a great time of trouble. And the economy is just the beginning of it. The hard times, the hardships, the struggles. All right, missing bills, missing payments. All right, receiving an eviction notice, having to move in with this friend, sleep on this couch, move back in with your parents. All these things are realities. All right, that are coming to pass in these last days. And if you Israelites, you Jakes, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, better get right with the Lord. All right, because that window of mercy, when they let the seal and shit starts to hit the fan, that's it. All right? You ain't going to be able to find the prophets. You ain't going to be able to, as scripture says, seek a vision from the prophet. All right? So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the elect. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakakwadash, Shalom.